Hello, soul friends and family. Welcome back to another episode of Inspired Sovereignty Radio. We have a wonderful episode for you today.
Hey, everybody. We have got such a good episode, and thank you, everybody, for coming back. I know that we skipped a week, a couple weeks back. We were in a really good flow. Flow of life happening. I'm sure you guys know, but yeah, we are so happy to be back here, and we both have been through a lot of transformations in the last couple weeks that we are so happy and ready to share with you guys. So the last episode that we did last Monday that came out, which was just a really honest conversation for us. We hope that there was a lot of value in that for you guys. But we actually recorded that before Kimberly and I went on an amazing journey recently. And so really we're really inspired in this episode today to really talk about opening our hearts and living from a place of open-heartedness and compassion and kindness. And really, that is medicine that is truly needed in this world right now. And the only way that medicine happens is through us truly softening, opening up our own hearts in these crazy days and really feeling each other and letting our light shine on the world in between all of us, right?
Beautiful,
yeah. Yeah. So today, fun episode. Good episode, heartfelt episode. And we're doing something a little bit different in this episode as well. And so at the end of this episode, Kimberly is gracing us with a most benevolent, potent meditation of loving kindness and compassion for our heart spaces to help support us and hold us in this very, very sacred space that truly is what we're all hopefully moving into at these times. Right. So guys, everybody, we've got an amazing conversation. We're going to keep this conversation a bit more succinct and shorter than what is typical in our podcast. And then later in the episode, then at the end of our episode, it's going to grow and evolve into the meditation, or sorry, I guess what I should just say is that's where the meditation will live at the end of this podcast, but also so that you can have this meditation for your own self-care, whether it's, when you're driving to work in the morning or you're doing a walking meditation, or you're just falling asleep at night and want to be in that more peaceful space. We're also going to put that the meditation as its own bonus episode directly after this one so that you can use it as a resource. You can share it with people. You can do whatever is good with you. But the little meditation is going to exist all on its own in addition for a resource here for you. So thank you so much, Kimberly, for creating this space to share that form of energy with everybody here today, too. How are you feeling today, Kimberly? It's been 2 weeks since we've seen each other and when we went through this huge shift in ourselves. We should quickly share a little bit about that.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you guys know that we've been, truthers for a good bit in this. Digital soldiers, information warriors. We know that tons of you are also in that space. But regardless of where we are at these stages of awakening, it's pretty obvious to see and feel that all around us, we got a lot of closed-heartedness, right? I know that I had been really, really feeling that. You guys know I'm introverted and we're really feeling that. And Kimberly, where were you feeling within that too? Just with the stress of the world.
Mostly anxiety and numb.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of vacillating between those two. A lot of numbness because just, wanting not to be involved.
Oh yeah, right. Because we've all gone from, whatever was normal human relations, communications, seeing people and everything to now, right? We figure we're guessing about 72 weeks into the apocalypse now, right? And that the first or the majority of that so far has been in a society that's intentionally energetically closing down. For us to recognize that, we've been through these energies that really facilitate apathy in humans and ambivalence and some resistance and what else were we thinking with that? Numbness and disconnection, right? Where it's we're not even really looking eye to eye anymore. Everybody's mouths have been covered, so we lose so much facial expression. We lose so much connection. We're literally having to stand further apart because, right, we're the perfect amount of apart for the average aura to not touch another person's aura, right? So for us to see that, through all of this, clearly, even this energetic aspect of us being less heart feeling, less heart open, less truly energetically open for one another and connected to one another, that all of that also was by design, right? Because truly we are communal beings. We are nurturing, loving, compassionate, connective beings. So, yeah, we had both been just like, at least for myself, really, really feeling that. You too, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm recalling your exact words with some of that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, so majority of us have been somewhere within this space of our hearts have been a bit more guarded, a little bit more shut down, closed off, like whatever the words are that fit right for you, right? But feeling maybe less patient with our fellow human beings, or feeling, frustration or whatever it is, but then also recognizing, again, by design, that we've also been, right, segregated at this point, and we're taught to fear our fellow human if they're on the different side of whatever to us, and to be repulsed from each other and have this resistance between each other. And right, like again, it's the divide and conquer mechanisms. And what is the antidote to all of this? It's us actually coming back into our heart. Us when we want to build up all of these walls and build this tight container to protect us and to preserve us. And part of us, like a survival mechanism at this time, it might feel right to shut ourselves down a bit. But what Kimberly and I have first-handedly discovered is that it is quite the opposite, our friends. So what happened was beginning or mid-July, we ended up going on this incredible retreat with hydrated, conscious, beautiful, beautiful beings. And we went to some sacred lands and sacred waters in Hiwassee, Georgia. And we were just entering the most beautiful experience that we never expected to have. And and just to quickly share anecdotally of my own experience, we had committed to going on this little trip together a couple months previous. And the day before it was time to go, everything in me is like, no, Ivy, you're not going. You're not going to go do a thing with a bunch of people. You're not going to do it. And I sent Kimberly a whole bunch of voice messages. And I remember at one point actually just telling you that, like, because Kimberly was telling me, she's like, Ivy, people are just going to love on you, and they're going to be in your presence, and you're going to love on them, and they're going to receive your medicine, and you're going to receive their medicine. And I had to tell her that, and like, I'm so pleased that I was feeling so strongly repelled by human connection, so that I could have this very huge contrast in my expansion. This is so valuable for me. But I actually told her that, like, having anybody else in my space, or me even being in anybody else's bubble, let alone a whole bunch of people hugging me, I told her verbatim, here's our F-bomb into this episode, the last fucking thing that I want, period, is to be with anybody. The last fucking thing that I want is human connection right now. And I wasn't necessarily saying that out of fear or whatever. I was just like, literally, like, I did not have the capacity. I did not have the bandwidth. It was like my heart, literally, there was no space. There was no ability for that. That was probably sucked to hear me say something so closed down, didn't it? Or were you experiencing your own version of it too?
I was mostly just in my comparison dramas and my nervousness and my anxiety about just being with people. But I was craving the connection. Yeah. I really wanted the connection.
Okay. So something different was keeping you from wanting to be connected. Okay, the comparison thing.
Yeah.
Because comparison, it really is the thief of joy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I was closed off just in the fact that I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be the oldest person there. I wasn't. I was close, but
also probably close to the wisest though because of that. Right.
So, I was, all my body image issues, all that stuff was coming into play for me. And so, that's, that keeps me closed off because I'm just like, oh, well, I'm not enough.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a little bit different from your experience, of course, but that's just my thing. It's like, I'm not enough. I don't deserve, but I knew I wanted that connection. So.
Okay.
I wanted to walk through the fire, in other words.
Yeah. Okay, but then just like the resistance and those things, like the fear of that stuff is what? Okay.
Yeah. Anytime I do anything that I've never done before, I get that, which I imagine everybody does.
Probably
to a
most of
degree.
us. Well, I
Yeah.
like that we're digging underneath that though, because for me it was just like it just felt like there just wasn't capacity.
Yeah.
There wasn't capacity for connection, and then for you it was like resistance to connect in that way, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, right, for you listener and viewer and our soul friend and fam, what is it for you that's because all of our hearts are, you know, programmed to be shut down in different ways. So what is it for you? Because I think when we can figure out or more so pinpoint like what it is and where it is, it's a lot easier to go and remedy and balance, right? Yeah.
Naming it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And then just reverse engineering, like, well, how do we fix that up? So, anyways, as reluctant as I was, I decided, I think late the night before, or it was like, no, I decided the morning that we had to leave.
I said, you have until noon to let me know so that I know.
You told me you told me I had until 1:30.
Oh, I gave you till 1:30. So we needed to leave at 2.
Yeah. Yeah. And so she gracefully gave me till 1:30, and I messaged her first thing in the morning and be like, I think at like 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning, I messaged you being like, I'm going to tell you by noon. I'll make sure that you know by noon.
Oh,
because
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
want to like
That's
put you
what
on
it
the
was.
spot. And there was just this feeling of, there was like a little bit of FOMO for sure. But there was just that knowing of, if I stay home and if I keep doing the things that I keep doing, nothing is going to change. That's what it really came down for me. Because I was like, okay, no, I'm going to stay home and I'm going to finish my website. And that will make it worth it to stay home, you know, and to not do the thing. But truly, like by time I was there and experiencing and cracked wide open, you know, I came home with this almost bewilderment of, I can't believe I almost stopped myself from having the largest heart growth of my entire human experience, you know? So for anybody that, I mean, for all of us who are having some feels around the heart or some closedness or some fear or some necessary, what is the word? Oh, I see your eyes getting glossy, woman. I see. Okay, so guys, we're going to be feeling a lot in this episode. But whatever it is that's helping us maintain our protective heart, that on the other side, when we are courageous enough or just vulnerable enough or exhausted enough to just be like, okay, God, crack me open. What is on the other side? You can never go back.
Right.
You can never go back. Tell us what you're feeling.
It was so beautiful to see you. Like, I just got so much joy from seeing you connecting with other people. I mean, I was connecting too, but just seeing that in you and knowing how much resistance you had to coming. We're both tearing up here, but it's like, it filled me with joy. I was just like, it wasn't like I knew it, but it was kind of like, I'm so happy that you said yes. But when you witness something like that, it permisses you to go there too. You know what I mean? So it's like
witnessing that cracks you open up
yes,
a little bit more.
Yes,
right? Yeah.
yes. And so, gosh, I mean, just it was so beautiful and so many connections and just a blessed time, a sacred, blessed time. And the other thing about it was just seeing so many people connecting in the same way. I was seeing you connect the same way I was connecting, just watching people hold space for each other and love on each other and own their own shit, like being completely sovereign, hydrated, sovereign, owning their feelings, taking personal responsibility for all their stuff, supporting each other, loving on each other, celebrating each other. Golly.
Yeah, guys. So to share that a little bit more, like we were with about 75 or 85 different adults on like truly like ancient lands in sacred ancient waters. And these are all people that are very, very hydrated. And when we say that, we mean it from a place of, the more hydrated we are with waters of our origin, that's truly how like soul can work differently in a very hydrated body, you know, because a hydrated body is a body that conducts electricity so well. And so, yeah, it was the most, it was like we were in the future. That's what it really felt like. Like we met the ancestors that we're here with. I'm not making sense with that, but we got to experience what energetically the reality that we're all moving into is more like. We got to really experience like just pure and innocent connection, heart wide open connection, nothing else in the way, right? Yeah. It was just, guys, it was amazing.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Super sacred is really like the word that I keep coming back to. Just really sacred, really, really sacred, and playful and fun and
oh yeah. And seeing how like when we're all in a really safe, energetic, and open-hearted space together, that like things flow effortlessly. Things flow with grace. Things just like everything just flowed. There wasn't a second of drama. No, like it was just, I've never seen adults behave in such an enlightened way. I don't think. I've never experienced connections like this. Where, yeah, I mean, we'll have to share more as time goes on, but yeah, amazing experiences. And if anybody listening was there with us, oh my God, we love you so much. And for everybody else that's listening that wasn't there with us, oh my God, we love you so much.
yeah.
We love you so much. Well, hey, fist bump for our first time crying together on the podcast. I like that.
Oh, it reminds me too of, I was listening to this guy and I can't even say his name, but he said, you know, we're in this matrix, right? And he said, he was talking about the movie The Matrix, and he said, you know, he came out of the matrix and then he went back in the matrix. And when he went back in, which is kind of what we did, we came out of it, you know, with going to our sacred lands and stuff. And then when we went back into the matrix, back into life, we had a force with us that was different. And that force was an open heart, and it was compassion. Because that's really ultimately what you get with an open heart, is that ability to be so compassionate and loving.
And to really see. Did you found that too? Like even when we got back to like our partners, it's like the conversations that normally happen, the little friction points that normally happen. Kimberly and I were able to show up in a completely different way, in a completely different energy. And that energy all on its own starts shifting everything right on its head, right? Yeah.
Yeah. It's so amazing how all that works.
Oh yeah. So we went from places of, you know, being less connected, and for me being really, really shut down. You know, like I offer my heart to you guys through my voice in these podcasts most only, you know, and in person is a whole different thing. But in person, oh my God, guys, to be in the physical with people at this time, holy crap. You remember like on the first night when Jilly was like, guys, we're here in the physical. We're not online, like we're actually physically together. Oh my goodness.
I get kind of fangirly. So I'm like, oh, there's that person. Oh, there's that person. Like the people that I follow, you know, on Instagram. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, he's 6 foot something.
Yeah.
You know, that was so neat.
Oh yeah.
Being in the physical.
Yeah. And then also to encourage everybody here, I mean, you know, like one day when things are more opened up and we're on the other side of this, it is so important for all of us soul friends and soul family to actually get together in the physical and celebrate each other and love each other. Yeah. So we hope, at least I hope, that we all meet one day and do amazing things together, because that is what is coming. Yeah, so, you know, I went from such a place of contractedness to such an experience of open-heartedness. And it does really, I'm going to say, revolutionize my perspective. And even like how I'm showing up with friends, how I'm showing up anywhere. Like even, you know, this last week I had to call a bunch of bill companies, and even like they're probably like, what is wrong with this lady on the phone? Because even like whatever customer service rep gets me, it's like I'm freaking loving on them. Like I'm being so sweet. Like I'm asking them how they're doing and how their day is going. You know, I'm wishing them a really, really good weekend ahead, and just being like more present and more conscientious, you know? So yeah, for me, the experience of like like drastically opening my heart, but being in the most safe and loving environment to do so, and then bringing that open-heartedness and the consciousness that comes with it, bringing that back home. It's been the most important thing. Yeah. What's your experience been like with integration?
Yeah, it's the same. It's like I even looked at my pets differently and wanted to love on my pets differently.
Right.
And then my grandson, you know, just the ease that I had with him, which produces ease in him, you know, and he gets to experiment more and he gets more playful and stuff. So, and then with my partner, just being way more intimate and intentional in
Really?
how I am
Yeah.
and how I look at her in the eyes. And
so are
hug
you
and-
seeing, so if grandson shifts because of the energy that you're bringing in, does partner shift also? Like, are you seeing shifts in relationship as well?
yeah, for the
Yeah.
most part, you know,
Yeah.
life comes in and life does what it does. And like Ivy was saying, a lot of stuff's been happening the past couple of weeks in
Ooh.
both of our camps. But yeah, for the most part, I mean, when our energy shifts, it tends to have an impact on people around us.
Oh, yeah. And if we're ever in the place of like, well, why do I have to be the one to change first? Right? I hear that a lot in my world of like, well, why is that on me? It's like, well, it doesn't have to be on you. But if you are wise enough, conscious enough to make these shifts inside of you, and you just assume that everybody else is just going to stay the same and all the work is on you, it's like, no. When we shift, everything around us shifts, right? When we change, well, what does Dr. Dyer say? When you change the way that you look at things, the things you look at change. I don't know if I said that right, but I think I said it right.
I mean, that's, yeah.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah. So all in all, guys, we just went through really big heart-opening, heart-nourishing experiences. And, you know, that's really fueled our desire to share with you that, like, it's time for all of us to get more into our hearts and open our hearts more. And how do we cultivate this safe environment for the heart so that it can open and expand, but also to encourage you to know that you opening your heart and living more in your heart and being in your heart and speaking from your heart and thinking from your heart and acting from your heart and everything from the heart, that it's worth it. It's
It's worth it.
it's far beyond worth it. It's worth the energy, the effort, all of the things to be in your heart.
I second that. It's expanding.
It's-
When you're expanding in that way, it's exponential. There's not like a limit to expanding. There's not a limit to opening your heart. There's not a limit to love. But all those opposite feelings are very limiting. So they limit how you are in your daily life.
Yeah.
So why not expand? Let's do this. Right?
Right. No, that's
Yeah.
such a good way to put it. Because, yeah, being in the energy of love will change everything, and it changes how people feel you. And also, I can't remember if where I read this or listened to this recently, or if this just came through me. But like when we're in that space of love, like the energy that we project out, I think like even like our auric energy is so freaking huge compared to when we're in a contracted state. Where did that come from? Or
It
where?
came from the heart math.
Oh yeah, heart
Video.
math video, right? Yeah, and if you guys don't know heart math, and I think his name's Greg Braden, he's a fantastic gentleman doing amazing work around the heart. But you know, like even that next morning when we got home, it's like first thing in the morning, and I slept in my white gown also because I just wasn't done, you know. And I went out into the rain, like barefoot into the grass the first day, and I was staying on a busy street, and I just watched the traffic. I didn't even watch it. Like I watched the traffic with my third eye, but while just like eyes closed, first thing in the morning, I'm out like in this gown and just like breathing and holding my heart and like meditating and like feeling how expansive my field was. And I was encapsulating most of my neighborhood and everybody that drove through me. I mean, drove through my energy, you know, but it was like, that was my intentional gift for just my neighborhood that day. Nobody needs to know about it, but I'm adding, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I
So
love it.
so let's talk about how do we actually live with an open heart, since we at least know for sure firsthand that it changes everything and it's worth it. How do we go? It's a
changes
no-brainer,
everything
guy.
and
you
it's
know?
worth it.
Yeah, like you
I
guys are
love
going to
that.
see that I'm not going to tell you anymore that I'm an introvert, because I'm not. Can you believe that I just said that? Okay, the story's changed because of the heart, guys. So you, in your heart, is going to change your story also. Oh, and also, Kimberly brought over this amazing cacao. It is amazing. It's not quite as hot as it was, but it is delicious. And this is something that is actually very medicinal for the heart as well. So, Kimberly, how do we live with an open heart, woman?
Oh my gosh. Well, I made a list, of course, because I'm a listy girl, of tools and things that you can do to live with an open heart. So we'll go there and we'll talk about some of those things. The first thing, which is funny because we just did it, is crying is what I have on the list. So basically feeling. So when your heart is open, you're feeling, it's not just joy that you're feeling, it's also pain. So having an open heart, having empathy, having compassion means feeling all the feels. If you're stuffing down your feelings, if you're holding your feelings in, you're closing yourself off. Yeah. Period. And nobody wants that.
Why?
Because it's so disconnecting. It's just so disconnecting.
Yeah. And also for us to remember that in that disconnected space, that's where the Wetiko, you guys remember that? Like that's where it lives. Is it like around a contracted heart, you know, and even like our addictions, our shame, our everything, you know, when we open up that heart, it's going to neutralize and balance all of that. It's not just like we open up the heart and now we're stuck in all of this feeling. It's like we open up the heart because the heart is like, it's the machine that processes all of it. It's like the multidimensional machine, right? Does that make sense? Okay, sorry. You continue, please.
Yeah. And when your heart is open and there's no obstructions, then you're able to move through life more fluidly too. So with that, there's more relaxation in your life. So we tend to be tight, you know, we get hit with whatever is going on, which there's so much going on right now. And then you have your personal daily life stuff, right? So when your heart is open in that state of being, you can move through those things more gracefully, more allowingly.
Absolutely.
Is that right? Allowingly.
Allowingly, yes, yes.
Yeah. So you just flow.
And when you're saying that, you're also giving me a really, really good visual of when we're tapped more into the heart, the mind, like we can have less presence in the mind because a lot of us are overly living out of the mind, right, in a way that is not as functional as also living in the heart, or invites in more distortion and more of that left brain living versus softening into the heart, which is going to soften the body, which is going to soften the nervous system, you know, and let us embody ourselves differently as well. But that goes all into the flow of exactly what you're saying.
And there's less chaos, there's less misunderstandings when you're living from your heart, when you're feeling and you're taking pause before you do something. There's more harmony.
Yes. It's more coherence, more coherent energy, right? And things take a different pace, things take a different flavor, but it's so much more graceful.
I think there's more honesty in it too.
Absolutely more honesty in it, right?
So more vulnerability.
Yeah.
More authenticity.
And then that all equals into more courage. And so you guys see how just living in the heart is going to shift everything, because it's going to shift how you're perceiving. It's going to shift how you're thinking. It's going to shift how you're feeling and what you're feeling and how we feel or how we stuff or whatever, right? Like, yeah, us living in the heart, it actually will have a ripple effect that will change everything. Some
other things that you can do are hugging. So we did a lot of hugging.
So much hugging, guys. But it's really such good medicine. And if we can add that, like when we hug, to hug heart to heart. So to truly like feel that person's chest against your chest. Not these little hugs, you know, the little hugs where it's like you kind of pull them in and then push them away really quickly. Like none,
side hugs.
Yeah, guys. So we mean like real mama bear, papa bear hugs for everybody. You know,
take a breath when you're doing that.
Oh yeah, let that hug last a couple breaths, right?
Sometimes I notice I'll go in and I'll hug and I'll hold my breath for a second and I'm like, wait, why am I holding
Oh,
my
you're
breath?
right.
Yeah.
Oh,
So then like relaxing into who I'm hugging. And there's some thing I read a long time ago that said that 11 hugs a day is what you need. So that's your prescription, is 11 hugs a day.
that's amazing.
And it's 11.
Yeah, of course, right? And I was just thinking, well, what if somebody doesn't have 11 people? It's like,
I
okay,
know.
well, then just make 11 hugs. What if anybody doesn't have any people? Hugging yourself still feels good. You know?
You can hug yourself. You can hug your dog. You can hug your cat. I can't hug my cat. No.
This does actually feel good. Whoever hugs themselves, guys, I don't.
Yeah, it does.
Do you know what? There is actually something comforting in this. For anybody just listening, we're both hugging ourselves right now. But okay. Okay, so we've got hugging, we've got crying. What else do we have to sink us into that space?
You can always do just an actual visualization, and there's so many you can tap into, but you can just close your eyes, and you can imagine that you have a curtain over your heart, and you're going to open it. So you can just use your hands just to open more. How much am I going to open my heart? More, and just feel how that feels. And then open more, and then feel how that feels, and open more. Mm-hmm. That's a beautiful practice, and a simple practice you can do every day. You could wake up and just literally peel the curtain off your heart.
Yeah. As you were saying that, I'm sure that for some people in our audience, it might not just be like a curtain.
Mm-hmm.
I was picturing it as like, it's, you know how some people in like old hardwood floors, there'd be like a trap door underneath the hardwood floor, and then in a box inside of a box, or like, you know, for some of us, it's like we might have to take like a hammer and saw and stuff to open up a little bit of space, you know, to shine that light in and just shine that heart light out. But is, regardless of how hard or how deeply protected the heart is, still so valuable. So it's like, it's not like it's so valuable to open your heart. It's like literally the journey. So if we're not aiming to open up the heart, what are we doing?
What the hell are we doing? What the
Didn't get the memo?
What the hell? You can picture a wall with bricks,
Oh.
taking the bricks off. You can picture a wall of ice
Oh.
and cracking the ice.
Oh, there's so many good ways. Yeah. So guys, what is around your heart? I picture mine was like, it was in an enchanted garden, but the garden, it's like these fortress walls of like thorny rose bushes or something, like ivy bushes and rose bushes all around my heart, like making a, you know what I mean? So it's wonderful, but it's not wonderful.
No.
No, it actually hurts more than anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so for visualizations and also, of course, like meditations. Well, I mean, the meditation then that is in this episode, of course.
There's some other things. There's drumming, because drumming is resonant. It can resonate with your heart and just sort of activate. So you can drum to the beat of your heart. You've had some drumming classes. How else can you drum that would resonate in your body and heart?
Yeah, I mean, there's different ways to hold different types of drums. You know, the drumming class that I did was for a big drum, and you kind of like, you put it on your lap here, and they kind of have it like so that your arm is holding it in place, like on your lap. So it's like, it's close to your heart when you're playing it. But to me also, it's like your hands and your arms are all extensions of the heart, you know? So anything that I'm making with music around this area of my body, to me, it's like, there's going to be heart infused into that anyways. But something about the drumming with the heart, for me, it's like, it's going to help awaken. It's going to help the heart journey. It's going to help the heart awaken. And also, I used to do this time to time, but then when we were in our time away with all of these people, I really noticed myself, and maybe you noticed me too, that I would be pounding on my heart all the time. And because we don't like clap regularly when we're in a group like that, so everybody does like the cute little jazz finger claps, or sorry, poetry, not jazz. But for me to actually like use my hand and my fist to beat on my heart like a drum, and like I could feel it, like, and I still, when I'm in moments now rumbling with my real life, you know what I mean, and bringing all of these gifts that we received back into it, I keep coming back to like literally drumming on my chest, because it feels like it's helping to loosen everything around it, like energetically and physically. But I feel like I'm waking it back up. And when I beat my heart like a drum, that like all the dusty little bits, all the crispy little bits that have been like stuck to conceal it are like, they're all just chipping off and falling out, you know? So
It's beautiful.
yeah.
Yeah. Breath work, of course. There's many, many, many different breath exercises you can do to open your heart.
And breath work while visualizing, of course, is very, very potent. And for me, why breathing and the heart go so hand in hand is because, like, literally your lungs are right around your heart. So by truly, like, intentionally filling the lungs and deflating the lungs and filling the lungs and deflating the lungs, it's like I feel like we can actually really work with the container of the heart, you know?
Ho'oponopono. If you haven't heard of that, it is like a prayer or a mantra. It's, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And you can say those in different orders too. It's right behind us there too, hanging on the wall. And that sort of brings you kind of to 0 point, sort of takes away the sting of things. It's a beautiful practice. And movement. Like moving your body, loosening your body up, dancing to drumming, dancing to any music really that's calling to you. Just moving your body is. I have put that back into practice.
Ooh,
Yeah,
how is it?
it's great.
Yeah.
I just stand in the corner of the kitchen and I'm dancing. And my girlfriend's like, there's windows. And I'm like, I gotta move. Yeah. So it really has helped so much.
Really?
Yeah, because we hold so much in our bodies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we know that. We hold so much in our hips and in our chest and even in our arms. Like you were saying, your arms are an extension of your heart. And so just moving and feeling yourself, loving on yourself in that way has really helped me a lot.
And that is amazing to hear you share that. That is amazing to hear you share that. And then I want to ask you, why are you, you said, I'm just standing in the corner.
Well,
girl, take up space, sis.
Yeah, take up space, sis. My partner's house has lots of windows that aren't covered, and so there's some that are open and it's fine. But I just like tuck myself back where I'm not like in the window.
Well, okay, so you don't have to be in the window, but what would happen if you were in the window and somebody saw you?
Oh, I wouldn't care. She would, but I wouldn't care.
So I was like, that might make other people so happy in their hearts.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you're being in your heart, don't hide it from other people, okay?
No hiding. Like at home, yeah, that's fine. I don't care. I don't even have window coverings in most of my house. So.
Good. Oh, yeah. Okay, so lots of movement, dance, and also I remembered like when you're sharing that the heart is like when we're talking about chakras and energy systems of the body and everything, that the heart is like it's in the center, and to remember that the heart is the balancer of all. The heart is the great balancer. So whatever type of distortion or imbalance or whatever's happening like in other parts of your body or in other parts of you energetically, it's like if you want to remedy that, you always come back to the heart. I mean, you know, go about remedying things however you want, but the heart is the great balancer. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Yoga, of course, there's lots of heart-opening poses in yoga. I mean, cobra, upward dog, camel pose, boat pose.
Full wheel,
fish, dancer, bridge.
Yeah.
So lots of heart-opening. Those are just a few, but lots of heart-opening poses in yoga. So if you're a yoga practitioner, just make sure, like, just remember when you're in those heart-opening poses to really breathe it in. Maybe beat on your chest too. I like that. Like I've seen you do that, and so I do that sometimes too.
Good.
And I remember you telling me that before.
Oh,
too,
really? Okay.
When I was on the struggle bus.
I understood. And with the heart beating also, or like with the pounding on the chest, I remembered it also activates the thymus gland, which is a little gland right on top of your heart. So there's also like physiological reasons why doing that is really, really good too.
Yeah, I was reading some stuff. I can't remember what it was, but I was just reading yesterday about the thymus gland.
Okay.
So I'm going to go back and revisit that. Oh, I was reading it in the water codes.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I got to pick that up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Yeah. So do we have other techniques that we want to share with them?
Well, I covered all the ones that I wrote down.
Yeah.
And then, do you have more? Do you want to add?
Well, for me, it's so important for us to work and open the heart, but it's also, I think, important at the same time to have really safe space to do so. Not perfect space, because perfect space doesn't happen always, you know, but to be, well, what do you think about that? You know what I mean? Like whether it's being with safe people, or even like when we're talking about physical opening or energetic opening, like even in yoga to do heart openers, it's like you don't just move into a hugely heart opening, expansive move out of nowhere, because it's like, you know, creating that safety and boundaries for it as well. But I don't know exactly how that plays into this conversation.
When you were saying that, it was reminding me that there is community in most communities where you can go and do those practices together, like drum circles. I mean, yoga, going to yoga class, but it's different. Most yoga classes aren't focused on that.
Yeah.
And then we're wanting to create our own circles and stuff too. So maybe look where you live, look and see if there's community that is offering those safe spaces to practice, because it's so medicinal. And when you walk out of a space like that, I mean, we just talked about it. You come back into your life and you have more space for others, more compassion for others and yourself. Ultimately, guys.
Yeah.
Yourself.
And if you don't have community around you like that, then it's still A-okay. Your heart can open with yourself too, you know, and even through online communities. Come be with us in the circles that we're going to be creating. But even like in your home and personal life, like if you don't have safe people around you, safe people being people that do their work and can see you and you can see them back, and we can all just understand that, you know, we're on the journey of being a human together, you know. So, you know, you want to soften your heart in whatever the safe and nourishing container is, and I think it's our job to create those own containers for ourselves, right? Whether it's like a sacred space in your own home, in your closet, or like wherever, like where can we really go into our heart and feel? And it's okay if it's not with a group of people. If it is with a group of people, like let's have people that are, you know, intentional and everything with us. But also if we're doing some of this work in our own sacred little space on our own, also perfect.
And there's a lot of value in eye gazing with yourself too. So, you know, getting in front of a mirror, maybe a handheld, and just really looking yourself in the eyes, expressing love to yourself. It's super uncomfortable at first, you know, because we tend to pick our, you know, well, this is on my face and
Or kind of like sometimes people get like standing in front of the mirror naked for like 15 minutes or 30 minutes or something, and just really observe yourself, right? And let all of those stories fade and all of those judgments fade until you're just you with you, like that type of thing.
Yeah, but I'm just going to look at my face to start.
So whatever feels best to everybody, but like may we all continue the journey into our own hearts and opening up our hearts to one another.
And it's a practice, and it's not comfortable sometimes, not comfortable at all.
What she's saying is it's mighty freaking uncomfortable often in the beginning.
Yeah. Even in the situation where we walked into being on these really beautiful sacred lands with these really amazing sacred people that were holding space, I still found it hard at times to drop the stories and get out of my head. Yeah. So I'm just going to segue, unless you have something to add to that.
I don't think I do, no.
Okay.
We're
I just wanted to say, like, when you're with somebody, opening your heart, I had written a few things down about, really dropping in with somebody. So dropping into the breath, maybe matching breath with someone is really helpful. Holding the gaze and looking into the left eye, from what I understand, is probably one of the easier ways to do it. Because then we tend to go boop, 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 back and forth to the eyes. But if you just stay focused on the left eye.
Are you looking at my left eye right now?
Mm-hmm. Okay. I think, yeah. I have to do L, R. And then, so matching the breath and taking a breath into your belly. Mm-hmm. We tend to keep our breath, especially based on how much trauma has happened over the past year and a half too. But, and in your life period, every time we get traumatized, our breath gets higher and higher and we don't drop it into our belly. Mm-hmm. And it always shocks me how much breath I can pull into my body. I'm like, wait, there's more space. Get that breath in there.
Oh yeah. And if I can speak of that breath, I was recording a bit of a meditation last night, just spontaneously, because, sometimes things just want to flow. And to remember that when we're breathing really, really fully, to actually if we become sensitive enough, we can feel the bottom of our lungs starting to fill. And then we can become still very sensitive and we can feel ourselves breathe actually into the back of the body, like the back of the lungs, where we can feel that creating some pressure onto the back of our rib cage, And then I can bring my breath easily around my whole heart and then even up to my collarbones. But it's getting that breath really deeper in the belly, expanding if you can breathe in so full that your rib cage, underneath your armpits, actually has to extend out backwards, you can even put your hands on yourself and take a breath in so big so that your rib cage is really, really going to move, and we start really exercising the lungs this way. But energetically, this does so much for us. And also our lungs are where we hold grief. And I know, at least for myself as a human, my kind of go-to hard emotions are sadness and grief and frustration. And I find breath and heart work is the biggest work for it. Okay, so syncing in with another person.
The eye contact, maybe touch, holding hands.
Yeah, or a hand on each other's heart.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's super powerful.
How was that for you at the excursion we were on?
It was
day one, guys, of course. They get us all into a lineup and there's 40 of us each direction on a lineup, and hands to our not anonymous, but our brand new partner across from us who we've never met before. And we're immediately just going hand to heart. How do I say that? Our right hands on each other's heart, and then our opposite hand holding the other person's hand on our heart and fixed with constant gaze. And right in that moment, when she was getting us into a lineup, I was I scope out the doors immediately, and I'm what's my excuse? I need to leave right now.
I have to go to the bathroom. I have to go to the bathroom.
Did you almost have an excuse too?
Always.
Yeah.
It's such an uncharted territory every time you connect with someone.
Yes.
I mean, if it's your partner and you connect regularly, that's a little bit different. But it's so uncharted when you're connecting with a perfect stranger, and that's what we were doing.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And it was immense. It was beautiful.
Oh my God. It was, it was so good, right? Yeah. But it was such a feeling of at first to open up the heart being oh, frick, I don't want to do this. I don't this is going to be uncomfortable. This is going to be awkward. And then being in it and just being so deeply pulled into the moment automatically, where it's immediately all the stories of how weird or uncomfortable this might be, they just immediately dissolved. And then it was just presence. Two people just in complete presence, free of ego, free of story, free of personality, just two souls connecting in physical. And it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Presence is the word that was coming to my mind when you were saying that too. And then you said it. But presence, just being ultimately present with your breath and another human being.
And when we're in that heart space, that there also isn't always a lot that even needs to be said, right?
Right.
Right.
And you can tell when people are uncomfortable because there's a lot of words coming out. So it's really allowing for that pause and just, nothing has to be said. You can have that gaze with somebody, that connection, that physical connection, the eye connection, and hear so much without words. So really give yourself the space to pause. So you can practice this with a friend or your partner and just allow for the pause. And then also allow for the giggles and allow for the, because that's just your body dissipating energy, right? Mm-hmm. So if that giggles come up or, blah, 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 you need to like let something out, let it out, come back to the breath, come back to the eyes, come back to the pause.
Mm-hmm. This is such a good conversation, at least for my heart. Yeah. And in that partner work, I mean, we can do partner work with most anybody, right? How do you get somebody to do partner work like that when somebody else hasn't kind of been initiated maybe in the way that you have or experienced in the way? Like me and my husband, like, I'm coming back in that energy, but he's not quite aware of all of my experiences, so it wasn't an immediate like heart, like there was of course heart to heart hug, but not immediate like that form of of practiced connection,
because sometimes it feels like you're kind of hanging out there solo.
Right? Sometimes, yeah. Right? But so how do we do that with others?
Well, this is where asking for what you want, like, can I have 10 minutes with you where we just sit in silence and look at each other? What a gift that you're giving them and they don't even know yet.
That's such a good point. Just literally be aware of what it is that you need and want.
Mm-hmm. And ask for it. Mm-hmm.
Isn't that revolutionary?
That's kind of a grown-up thing to do.
Right?
But yeah, I mean, what's the worst that they can say is no, right? But, probably they're not going to say no. And maybe they're going to be really uncomfortable. But maybe you set a date and you say, hey, look, let's do this like every day for a week. 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm. And what is doing this?
Like sitting across from each other, knee to knee, or standing, knee to knee, hand on heart, eyes open, breathing together. Gosh, I want to go do that right now. Just the intimacy that it creates, the heart opening that it creates. I mean, it takes one person to initiate that. And then ask for what you want. So it's that one person. I want this. Can we try this? Can we do this together? And then every time, I bet you it gets longer and easier.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, to me, I'm going to have to go do that when I get home.
Good.
Because sometimes I'll ask for what I want and I'll say, just look me in the eyes for a few minutes. And it's hard. It's hard for
what
people.
ends up happening?
A distraction. I sometimes have to concede.
Okay.
So, but when it's there and it's rooted and it actually happens, there's just a softness that develops.
That's really beautiful. That's really, really beautiful. Yeah. Amazing.
Ding, ding, ding.
Ding, ding, ding. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I wonder if I don't know if I have anything to add to that. Like, my experiences coming back have been kind of similar, but holding more grace and holding more space, and, even at certain times, like, because I went home feeling very, very different. And I announced that because I'd like, you know what I mean? Yep. It's like, if I'm embodying a new version of me, I'm going to let you know so that hopefully you're open to seeing the new version of me and not holding me to what previous version was, So as you open up your heart and things change in you, even if you have people in your life being like, you haven't changed, just keep being the new you, Like that's what I noticed is I kind of had some resistance like that from my partner. But it's like, you're only seeing what you see because of how you see. So I'm going to keep maintaining this more embodied version of me, Mm-hmm. And you'll notice it because you're going to see that I'm not reacting to you. If you're perceiving me that way, okay. I'm hearing in my heart, So like, even if we meet resistance or anything, or,
mm-hmm.
to like, just, we stay in our heart still, we stay. Because this is the safest place. It's the most coherent place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The most expansive place.
Oh my
most
goodness.
Giving place.
Oh, and and even like earlier in this episode when you were like, the heart space is expansive. Mm-hmm. It's like, well, yeah, of course. But then to really, really think about like all of the other feelings that aren't heart feelings are so limiting. Mm-hmm. that it's like, are we going to choose the limitation, the energetic limitation that's only going to cause more problems in whatever all areas, right? Or are we just going to stay in the heart and allow everything to move and expand?
And everything is temporary, right? So it's like, you know, all those things that constrict us, those things, those limiting feelings, they're fleeting. They don't stay forever. And I mean, you just go through it and then it dissipates. Everything is cyclic. Everything is moving and constantly changing and growing. So just come back to the heart each time. Come back to the heart each time. You're going to feel whatever you feel. Like my air conditioner went out this past week.
When it's crazy, crazy, crazy hot.
Hottest days of the summer so far. You know, it's like, am I going to like totally freak out? Or am I just going to say, you know what? It's okay. Everything's going to work out. We can handle this. Everything is fixable. Everything is temporary. Everything is temporary. So for what that's worth, it helped me get through. I mean, it's helped me get through all kinds of things, just coming back to the heart.
Right. You mean like even in the last 2 weeks?
The last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
The last year and a half. The last 2 years.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a purpose. It's a purpose you can take on. My intention, my purpose is to be in my heart with other people.
Absolutely.
Because this is the force that is going to force us out of the matrix. Because we're in it. We live in this world. All the stuff is happening. What we're bringing to it is what's going to have an impact on it.
You're right.
We're the glitch. The glitch is compassion. The glitch is love.
Yeah. And oh my God. And I found this woman that does a podcast. And what she said is she's like, our energy is the algorithm. You know what I mean? Like, it's like we are what this new world is going to be. I don't know. Did I just make sense with that?
Well, when you said that, I pictured like the literal movie, The Matrix, you know, when they see the little green things.
Oh, yeah.
And then I see this one bit of energy that's going up that's just like a different color or different texture.
Yeah. We're the system busters, but it's like, it's our heart that's going to do that work. I think for me, like the biggest takeaway of all of that for me was like in coming home was like embodying this energy is the most important constant thing for me to do, to maintain a pure and very, very open heart and like living in that space every single day. It's like that to me right now is my personal work. Like that is priority above all, is like keeping the peace, keeping that center, but staying so firmly rooted in heart and speaking from heart and teaching from heart and hearing from heart, you know, and everything there. So like no matter what is coming up in my life, whether it's husband drama, my father was in an accident and just broke his neck last week, to like, well, whatever it is, whatever the bullshit, the drama, the trials, the tribulation, the beauty, the celebration, whatever it is, Miss Ivy needs to be in her heart, because that's just where it's like, I guess since I experienced that and how that was so, I don't want to say next level, but it was so the future reality energetically of what we're moving into, the next harmonic universe, that the most potent work that we can do right now is be in our heart, period. Before anything else, that's my work. But what is your biggest takeaway?
I mean, that's it too. It's
like, the same thing as me?
Yeah.
Okay.
It is. I mean, do I want to live on the edge of freaking out all the time, or do I want to live
it's exciting
on this purposeful foundational way of life in living in the heart, and that's what I choose, is to live from my heart, because I love so much. Like I love so much, and if I'm not living in my heart, then nobody gets that, not even myself.
You're right, and that's a tragedy.
Tragic.
It is tragic.
Yeah.
Imagine if all of us were always. Oh wait. Okay, so guys, in the future, all of us are always going to be in our heart, pretty much, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Start now.
Yeah. Okay. So I want to ask you and myself, from what we were going into that experience feeling like, right? With your personal hangups and then my lack of capacity or lack of desire to have connection. For me, on my side of that, like what has shifted, right, is like, oh my God, I can't believe that I didn't want that connection. And like, oh my goodness, like all like my fears around connection, my fears of being even like, I guess like I didn't care. I went like, I didn't even pack the clothes that I would like to wear because I was like, I don't fucking care. You know, I'm just going to go and I'm just going to do my own thing and whatever. But like to just really have that transformation of like our interconnectedness, most important thing, our love for each other and ourselves and that connection around that, most freaking important, most powerful thing on this planet, period. I'm balls to the wall, fully in for the rest of my life to be love. What happened with your hangups and your initial hesitations, blockages, walls, or whatever to you going and you experiencing?
Oh, just being in oneness with other people and going, oh my gosh, we're the same and then honoring my own body and just seeing that we all are just these human flesh body people with hearts and minds and hangups and stuff. But just, I just felt like I was part of the family.
Mm-hmm. And when you're part of a family, those little hangups, like they become silly, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's so important. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love just being with people and everybody just naturally themselves, you know, to see that like each soul chose a certain body for a reason, regardless of what the body is like.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so beautiful. It was so beautiful also watching you expand.
Thank you.
And watching you grow more comfortable in that space and watching you connect with other people of all ages, you know, other people of all bodies, and just being, oh my God, I love seeing you in your black bathing suit going to the waterfall.
Oh yeah. Thank you.
That was, oh my God, guys, magic. When Kimberly and I were in the very near future, we will be doing online circles. We will be hosting in-person circles, and as soon as available, surely there will be some form of retreat as well. So for whoever wants to be in this sacred, intentional, and integral energy, there's space for you. There's space, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Perfect. Mm-hmm. So what else to add to this conversation? What feels important for you?
I mean, you hear it a lot. Love is all you need, right? And it's not a cliche. It's not just a phrase. It is the force. It is the force. It is what you came here to do. It is our work to love more.
Yeah. Yeah. And even hearing you say love is all we need, like in that cliche way, I almost just want to turn the words around, because when I say when I hear, oh, love is all you need, it's like, oh, we could have just love and we'll survive. Cool. Or whatever. But to actually, for me in my head, change it to like, we all need love. And like, we need love, but not from a place of like scarcity around love, but being from a place of like, no, like we need it. And when we are in it and imbued with it and embodying it, it's like that's what we need, because that's when it's like soul is powerful here. I don't know if I explained that well. I just finally recognized that connection and love, it's like actually a need.
Well, it is. I mean,
It's a fundamental
scientifically,
need.
yeah,
Right?
it absolutely is. So, and as grown-ups, the more, we grow up, we go through all kinds of stuff. We get shut down numerous times through our lives.
And the repeated trauma thing, right?
Trauma, yep.
Yeah.
And just keep breaking down the walls.
Yeah.
Keep opening the curtain. Keep
breathing into that heart.
Digging it out.
Pound on it a little bit if you need to.
Open your chest. Just, it's worth it. It's worth it.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, it's like literally the only way forward.
Yeah.
Good.
Yep.
Oh, good. Well, all of this is like, my heart is feeling really, really good. I'm feeling, the other thing, if I can share with you guys, of being closed down in heart for a long time and then being radically opened up in a safe and lasting and sustainable way is, oh my goodness, it almost just left me. Biggest thing is that I feel like I have been brought back to life. That's the other thing that I definitely like. If I realized this after the episode and that I didn't say it, this is such an important piece for me. Is like, and I remember my intention going into it was, I just want to feel alive again. Like it was just, I just want to feel alive again. And then not even remembering that that was my intention by like the second or like the last couple of days, I was just like, oh my God, like I feel so alive. I feel so alive. And I don't know when I stopped feeling alive, but it feels like it was a really long time ago, you know, to just feel so alive because my heart is working again. Or I guess like because my heart has space, my heart has family, you know?
I remember you not even needing as much sleep as you would normally take.
I slept maybe 7 hours across that whole, I stayed up all night, everybody. But you know what? I had all the energy that I needed because my heart was doing all of the work. Yeah.
It's like when you're first falling in love with someone, that energy that comes with it.
Yeah. You're just like the Energizer Bunny. Does America have the Energizer Bunny? Okay. It's just like that, you know? So now with us talking about how different it is with a closed heart versus us really being in our heart, like if we can imagine if most everybody grew and evolved and birthed themselves into that space, you know, it's like truly like us all coming into our heart. Again, most important thing, but even it's, and I guess I want to just add this into the episode before we complete this part of the conversation, is even like us coming home, it's kind of even shifted how we're operating in ways of like, I'm not so heavily pushing the information anymore right now because heart, you know, like we still need all the informational warriors and the digital warriors and everything. But guys, we're going to keep expanding ourselves and our energy in our heart. So we're going to be transitioning out of the informational war and we're going to be transitioning into the new earth, the now earth, you know? So if you see me pushing less information, less masculinity, less of that, it's because like I'm stepping into my next embodiment, which is I'm here to hold heart, you know? And so if you see even like your priorities or anything changing within all of this also, it's okay. But we need more of us, or surely more of us are going to keep growing into embodying the frequencies of the heart and probably less of the 3D war stuff going on, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's all still really important. I'm not saying stop sharing or anything like that's all, but like listen to your heart.
Because we want to take as many people with us as we can.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, you know, I feel that too, like, come on, I want to share this, but also like what we're doing here right now, it's like, what can we offer on the other side of that? You know, this is hard to look at, but also there's this. And it's a new community, a new way of being, a new way of feeling.
Yeah.
It's a new space.
I see it also as like a necessary doorway for us to go through in order to get to the other side of what this is, you know? Because us just staying and like fighting the good fight, unless like, that's still happening and we're still doing that. But at the same time, we got to work the heart because that's what truly is like the pathway to move into this next world. Yeah. Good. Well, with all of your gorgeous notes and lists, is there anything else that you want included into today?
No, I got it.
We got it?
Yeah.
We talked about all the important things.
We did.
Okay, good, guys.
We got it.
Okay, good, guys. Well, perfect. So we hope that your hearts are all doing well. I mean, in understanding, right, that crazy days, nutty buddy butt bar days.
Nutty buddy bar days. And life, just life in general.
Yeah.
Not just all the extras, but just regular life comes in. Meet it with grace.
Yeah.
Meet it with heart.
Yeah, the more that we can like seriously love each other through all of this, of course, like be so kind to one another and be kind to ourselves. And right, everybody's got their internal battles. And there's, for all of the stuff that we've probably all shoved down or swept underneath the rug, there's a lot of that for all of us to probably collectively or individually work through right now, right? So the more sweet and tender and calm and slow in some ways and breathful, and the more that we can create a little bit more pause a little bit more courtesy energetically for one another, a little bit more grace, right? Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, never did the housekeeping. So I'll just remind you guys all right now that like we freaking love you. If you want to give this podcast a 5-star rating, we so much appreciate that. I mean, if that jives with your heart, that really, really helps us out. And of course, we are on YouTube as well. So Inspired Sovereignty, we've got a YouTube channel there. All of our podcasts from the last couple of months are up on there. And soon we are going to start having more different types of like educational, fun, really neat videos coming out. Yeah, but we don't really have more news than that other than it's like we're all still in transition. Next Monday, we are going to have an episode probably talking a little bit more about these days that we are going into, because mid-August, we keep hearing is going to be hot, 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 which means probably some crazy stuff and a lot of stuff happening.
Yep.
So we want to just give next Monday a little bit of a catch up of like, okay, this is everything that's kind of going on. So,
Yep.
and then we've got really good episodes planned for after that. So yeah. So guys, we're going to keep holding down the fort on our end here. And we hope that whatever is important to you, that you're, really giving yourself to it. Did that make sense? Sure.
Beautiful.
You see, when we are in heart space, your mouth doesn't always make sense, but it is all so, so good. So we are going to move, like we shared, into a gorgeous, heartfelt meditation here to support you and nourish you. And so you can just carry on listening to this episode, and it's just going to turn into a beautiful meditation. And again, if you want to utilize this as a resource and or share it, listen to it when you're waking up, listen to it when you're falling asleep, whatever your heart needs, it's also now a bonus episode right after this episode in your podcast app. And if you are watching on YouTube, you're also going to see, the meditation right now that you can journey through and into, but we're also going to put it up again as a second, like solitary meditation on its own for you to use as a resource. Yeah. Okay. So we love you all very, very much.
We do. We love
And enjoy this magic and medicine. And we will see you next week in the next episode of Inspired Sovereignty Radio. And thank you all so much for your attention, for your love, for your consciousness, for your journey, and really for your willingness to know truth and seek truth and truly feel. Mm-hmm. Thank you for being here with me today, Kimberly. And thank you for this gift.
Thank you. A loving kindness metta meditation. This is a simple and profound loving kindness meditation that you can practice every day. What is loving kindness meditation? Metta loving kindness meditation is rooted in ancient Buddhist practice called metta, which translates as loving kindness. Metta, or loving kindness meditation, even if brief, naturally nurtures self-compassion as an open heart radiates kindness to others and the world. Sit comfortably on a cushion or a chair with your back straight. If sitting is physically difficult, feel free to lie down instead. If you're driving, you can stay alert and use your breath and imagination. Bring yourself present. Breathe. Take your time. Give space for 3 deep breaths in your body. Notice how the breath moves the body. Relax your shoulders. Relax your jaw. Now, turn your focus to the heart. Feel or imagine your beating heart with gratitude and warmth. Call to mind a person or a pet of the past or present whose steady love and unconditional acceptance of you touches your heart in a special way. Allow yourself to experience their loving kindness as if they were right next to you. Happy for your presence and grateful for you just as you are. Notice how this image eases your body and your mind. Relax into this warm feeling of connection. If your mind wanders, just allow the thoughts to arise and evaporate and come back to your heart. Taking your time. Now, put this loving kindness and warmth that you are receiving into words. If helpful, you can imagine that these kind thoughts are what the person or animal you've called into your mind wants for you, and picture that they are wishing them with you. You can repeat out loud or in your mind. Feel their ability to warm and open the heart. I will recite them 3 times. May I be held in loving kindness. May I be happy and safe. May I be healthy in body and in mind. May I always have enough. May my heart know peace. May I be held in loving kindness. May I be happy and safe. May I be healthy in body and in mind. May I always have enough. May my heart know peace. May I be held in loving kindness. May I be happy and safe. May I be healthy in body and in mind. May I always have enough. May my heart know peace. Next, bring to mind someone who means a lot to you, someone in whose presence you can relax and be fully appreciated for who you are. Feel the goodness of this heart connection. Feel your mutual gratitude. As you offer your well wishes, imagine that the person is touched by them and experiences happiness and peace. You can repeat out loud or in your mind. Appreciate the sincerity of the words. Feel their ability to warm and open your heart. May you be held in loving kindness. May you be happy and safe. May you be healthy in body and in mind. May you always have enough. May your heart know peace. May you be held in loving kindness. May you be happy and safe. May you be healthy in body and in mind. May you always have enough. May your heart know peace. May you be held in loving kindness. May you be happy and safe. May you be healthy in body and in mind. May you always have enough. May your heart know peace. Next, bring to mind someone you've met occasionally or casually, someone you recognize but don't really know. a school crossing guard, the person who manages the produce department at your grocery store, a neighbor you nod to. As you think of them, wish them well. Repeat the same words and imagine that they receive the full benefit of them. Gone, their aches and pains, material worries, concerns about the future. Imagine that as your wishes touch them, their hearts and minds are at ease. You can repeat out loud or in your mind. Appreciate the sincerity of the words. Feel their ability to warm and open your heart. May you be held in loving kindness. May you be happy and safe. May you be healthy in mind and body. May you always have enough. May your heart know peace. May you be held in loving kindness. May you be happy and safe. May you be healthy in body and mind. May you always have enough. May your heart know peace. May you be held in loving kindness. May you be happy and safe. May you be healthy in body and in mind. May you always have enough. May your heart know peace. Now imagine someone you don't care for. It could be someone you know personally or someone you know of and who triggers your hostility. You may think of this person as unworthy of your kind consideration. As you evoke them in your mind's eye, try to let go of your hostility. It may help to imagine them as they were when they were young and vulnerable, before things became difficult. Can you include them in your well wishes? You can repeat out loud or in your mind. Appreciate the words. Feel their ability to warm and open your heart. May you be held in loving kindness. May you be happy and safe. May you be healthy in body and in mind. May you always have enough. May your heart know peace. May you be held in loving kindness. May you be happy and safe. May you be healthy in body and in mind. May you always have enough. May your heart know peace. May you be held in loving kindness. May you be happy and safe. May you be healthy in body and in mind. May you always have enough. May your heart know peace. May you be held in loving kindness. May you be happy and safe. May you be healthy in body and in mind. May you always have enough. May your heart know peace. Finally, include as many people and animals as you can in your wishes, happy or sad, loved or neglected, in good health or in poor health, in all stages of life. Without making a particular effort to envision them separately, simply maintain awareness of the presence of all these beings who share your planet and send them your wishes with a sincere and tender heart. Appreciate the words. Feel their ability to warm and open your heart. Imagine that your practice brings about deep healing for yourself and others. May you be held in loving kindness. May you be happy and safe. May you be healthy in body and in mind. May you always have enough. And may your heart know peace. May you be held in loving kindness. May you be happy and safe. May you be healthy in body and in mind. May you always have enough. May your heart know peace. May you be held in loving kindness. May you be happy and safe. May you be healthy in body and in mind. May you always have enough. And may your heart know peace. Now return to your present awareness of being in the physical space you are in right now. And remember and take with you your connectedness to all of these things through your wishes. Thank you.